Men's basketball assistant coach Justin Hutson joins me right now. Justin, congratulations. Welcome.
Thank you. Thanks for having me.
Hey, there's a few things that were unique about last night, and the first thing that I'd like to get to, because I'm fascinated by it, is the turnout and the level of enthusiasm by the crowd. I mean, it's not like entirely new, but it's like renewed at Viejas Arena.
We have the best crowd in America. There's no doubt about that. You know, there's a lot of good places to play basketball, but Viejas is right up at the top, and we're lucky to have them, and we hope that they all show up tomorrow at 6 p.m.
It sounds like they will, man. Mark Ziegler said that 2,000-plus tickets, it's over, done. It's sold in like 12 minutes.
It's exciting to be in such a nice city with such great fans, and there's a lot of Aztec alum in town, and they show up, and they're loud and proud.
Are you at all, and have you guys talked about it at all, kind of marveling? I mean, Justin, and I want to get to it because it's super impressive the way that this team has owned its games, it's where it's at, and is playing, that you guys are playing like you are in the NIT. But let's face it, it's the NIT, and we didn't know how fans would react. Have you kind of marveled at how good it's been?
Well, not too surprised, because we have a good fan base, and we're happy to have them, and we don't take them for granted. But, you know, we play a good brand of basketball. You know, our guys play with a lot of effort, and we play together, and we're continuing to get better. And that's what you're asking the guys to do, is continue to play with enthusiasm and get better, and it doesn't hurt that our crowd has so much enthusiasm.
You know, it's a great point that you bring up, that it's not just the winning. I think people really do not only have a lot of respect for Steve Fisher, but the way that you guys have built this program with the style of play and the kids. I'm glad that you brought that up, because I think that's a really good point in terms of you guys having won over this city.
Yeah, I think people respect hard work, and they respect teamwork, and that's two things that I think in our golden years that we've had here with Coach Fish is that our teams do play hard and they play together.
Talking to Justin Hutson, assistant coach, Aztecs basketball team. Hey, Justin, when's the last time that you guys played a team like that basically the basketball is like a hot potato to them?
They were quick, weren't they? And they got the ball out and up the court quick, and it hurt us in the second half. And we have not played too many teams that run quite as well as they do, and they made some tough shots, and they made it real hard on us in the second half.
Did you feel like it brought out the best in your team?
Yes, it did. And and each game is a learning experience. You want to learn when you win. You'd rather win and learn. It's always a lot more fun to do that. And we learned that we must get back and build a wall, because there was some talent on that side of the ball. When they pushed the ball and they played at that tempo, it was hard to guard.
Yeah, I mean, obviously, they were 500 in the Pac-12 and got a lot of young talent, but they are what they are. I just wonder how you compare them to some other teams that you might face. I'm sure you've watched Georgia Tech. I mean, no one does it like Washington right now, right? I mean, that was incredible.
Well, styles make the fight, and it was their style was to pressure us and to get out and run, and our offense really came through with attacking their pressure by driving to the rim, and we had a great defensive first half, and they came out and they showed who they were, in the second half, that they were going to get out and push it before we could set our defense and try to take advantage of us before we get back, because once we get back and set our defense, we're pretty good, and we've proven that.
There were times, obviously, they were frustrated by that. I'm very impressed with the 93 points, for one thing, taking advantage of the foul trouble that Washington got in. Your guys, able to really just show their athleticism against the Washington defense. It had to be careful. But I got to tell you, when they got it down to 5 and then, boom, you guys rebounded, had to be the most impressive part of the night.
Resiliency is very important, and there's the game, and basketball is a game of runs, and we knew they were a very good team. They were very young, but, kind of like our young freshmen, they're starting to grow up, and they're not freshmen anymore, and they had some young guys that really did some things in the clutch and brought them back and made it a very competitive game.
Talking with Justin Hutson, assistant coach, San Diego State men's basketball game against Georgia Tech tomorrow. One more thing on last night's game before I ask you about Georgia Tech. As usual, Winston Shepard speaking his mind afterward, and he said, this is what the Aztecs should be trying to do. We're capable of doing this every night. Now, you referred to, the fact that maybe Washington, brings this out in you. Is with the type of defense that you guys play, could you do this against somebody every night?
Well, that's the goal. The goal is to play both ends of the floor, and we did shoot the ball well, and we've proven that we can shoot the ball well in spurts, and we're just trying to become more consistent.
What do you know about Georgia Tech?
They're good. They were in ACC. They beat Virginia this year, who's the number one seed in the NCAA tournament. They've had a lot of big wins. They're playing really well of late. I think they've won 8 out of 10. They're big inside, and they have some guards that can really score.
What did they do? Because it's so important, like, what is a team doing recently? I just was watching out of the corner of my eye early on last night. I know, you have to have seen it now. What did they do to South Carolina last night?
Wow, they went into South Carolina and beat them bloody. And so they're not going to be afraid to come into Viejas, that's for sure. They've been in some tough venues in the ACC all year long, so it's going to be a big challenge for us on Wednesday night.
Justin, I've heard you talk about it, Dutcher talk about it, players. Steve Fisher, his ability to get young men, and I marvel at that. Anybody who's had kids that age, or just the ability to get young men to stay in the moment is one of the more impressive things that he does. And that's key to getting over the disappointment. And I love that no one's denying that it's disappointment. You guys have expectations. But how you have then said, hey, this is our tournament now, that's huge.
We all have to turn the page, and we all have to motivate the young men to make sure that they turn the page and play the game that's ahead of us. It's not bad for us to be disappointed. It's okay for us to be disappointed, but how we handle that and come back and compete and stay together is very paramount.
Hey, Justin, what Malik Pope, this last month, I would say, and obviously I don't watch it as close as say, like a Mark Ziegler, but wow, you look at the stats and the times that I've watched it, this is the guy that you expected all season, right, Malik Pope?
Yes, he's maturing. And we're very proud of that. He's maturing right in front of our eyes. He's really working hard. He's stuck with it, and he's deserving all the success that he's getting now. And the sky's the limit for Malik. When he continues to work, which we know he will, and continue to mature, his game is going to really continue to blossom.
Justin Hutson, I really appreciate your time. I look forward to being out there and soaking it all in tomorrow night. Good luck to you.
My pleasure. Thanks for having me.
Right on. Justin Hutson, assistant coach, Aztecs basketball team.